Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are going to go over a tutorial video and is of the Rolling Stones edition of New Guitar Gods that was released, I don't know, a decade or so ago. But anyways, it was a request I had from someone that follows my Instagram and YouTube channel, so I always love fulfilling requests for everyone. So let's check out the video. So in this video, it is John Frusciante, John Mayer, and Derek Trucks. Of course, I'm just going to go over the Derek Trucks part, but it's them basically just talking about their influences and their playing style and all that good stuff. So why don't we get started by doing a little reaction video. And also, if you guys have been enjoying this channel, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like. It really helps my channel to grow and everything, so I really appreciate any help I can get. Alright, let's get started.
Belting it out. See, these things are called frets, and those are very descriptive delineations of notes. Well, he doesn't even pay attention to the frets because he's got the slides, so he's going up and down. So he's got infinitely more sounds on his guitar than I have.
Very cool. Let's just back up a little bit before I get into it. Alright, so just a quick recap. Like a lot of other Derek solos, especially his blues-based ones, he's just relying on major and minor pentatonic. So really nothing too special in terms of scale choices. It's his rhythm and phrasing that makes his phrases what they are. So let's just start in the beginning, and it's just going over a standard, it's starting out as a standard blues anyways, and we're in E, and right before this clip we go to the 4 chord, which in this case is A. And for those of you that don't know or haven't picked up on the channel yet, I'm actually tuned to open E tuning pretty much all the time, so just make sure you're tuned up to that in order to play along with this video. If you're not, I'm still going to name the notes and intervals so you can follow along anyways for you guys that are playing in standard tuning. I know everyone doesn't want to play in open E all the time, but that's what I do, so if you guys want to follow along in that, great. If not, you can just use standard. I'll save the notes anyways, so let's get into it.
A female singer from the 50s or 60s just belting it out.
Alright, so that phrase right there, it's kind of a long phrase, so I just stopped it about partway through just so we can recap. So right off the bat, we're starting off with this lick right here. Alright. There we go. It's very touchy. But anyways, we're starting with a artificial harmonic at the 3rd fret on the 1st string. And the frets we're playing is 3rd, 5th, 7th, and then 12th. Or if we're looking at the intervals, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, root. And if you don't know how to do artificial harmonic, how you do it is, first off, you pick a fret that you're playing. In this case, we're at the 3rd fret. And you take your index finger and you touch the same string 12 frets above that. So 3 plus 12 is 15, so my index finger is hovering above the 13th fret. And I am touching the string, just lightly. But while touching above the 15th fret and having my slide above the 3rd fret right here, I'm plucking with my index finger. So, and you want to make sure you're above the fret. If you're too far in front or behind, you're not going to get that harmonic. So you pretty much have to be right. So that's that lick right there. So 3, 5, 7, root. Or flat 3, 5, 4th, 5th, and root right here. So that's the first part of the phrase. And after he reaches that, he doesn't pluck again, so he continues sliding up. So we go up to the 15th fret, 17th, and 19th. So your flat third, fourth, and fifth again. So just starting over, just a higher octave. And once you get to the 5th fret, you pluck at the 15th fret, slide into the 17th, back to the 15th, and then the 12th. And this is a lick Derek does all the time. He definitely incorporates a lot. Just really quick, you know. Kind of almost sounds like more like one sound than 4 separate notes. So that entire lick slowly is. And once you pluck again, it gets rid of that harmonic, but we're so high up in the frets, it's not really noticeable anyways. So we go. And then from there, we're plucking at the 12th fret and doing a backward slide into the 10th fret of the first string. So that's your flat 7th. And it's okay, it would help if I played the rest of it. So let's watch that one more time, and I'm gonna slow it down a little bit, just to give you a better idea.
From the 50s or 60s, just belting it out.
All right, very cool. Probably actually gonna leave a lot of it slow anyways. Alright, so from right there, after we go to the flat 7th on the first string, we're going flat 7th, and then we're plucking starting at the 12th fret on your 2nd string, so your 5th, and you go down 2 frets to the 10th, that's your 4th interval, and then sliding to your 8th fret, your flat 3rd, and then root. So flat 3rd, and then another quick move that we did similar to before. So again, it's just that same lick, but just an octave lower, at least ending it on. So the only difference is we slide into that 4th twice before we slide back down. So let's try that one more time. After that, yeah, so that entire lick is. So sliding into that 4th twice, and then quick slide down to the root. And then once we get there, Derek does this cool move where he reaches with his index finger behind the slide and presses down on the 3rd fret. To ring out that note. So we press the 3rd fret, get that note to ring out, and then pull off to the 2nd string. So root, flat 7th, 5th. So the entire lick is. And moving forward. Right here is coming a classic duet lick. So right there, we're starting with a pluck on the 2nd string at the 12th fret, and doing a backward slide to the 10th fret on the 2nd string, and then from the 10th fret of the 3rd string, we're sliding to the 12th fret the 3rd string, which is your major 3rd. and then sliding into the 5th again, on the 2nd string, 12th fret, and then back to the 4th, 3rd, and then root on the 4th string, 12th fret. Very classic Duane lick right there. The one thing that I like that Derek does is he begins as that classic Duane lick, but then he adds his own low spin right here. Alright, so that's something you don't hear Duane do. He was, I think, beginning to develop those single note lines, but Derek is really the master of that. So we have... So right there, let me just watch the plucks again. Okay, so after we do that Duane lick, we slide into the 3rd again, root, and then 5th. And then from the 5th, I kind of went over this part a few times earlier. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just going to give you what I think he's doing anyways. So what we're doing is once you hit the 5th, you do a little shake between the 12th and the 11th fret, between the 5th and the flat 5th, so that blue note. And from there, you do like a low shake twice, and then once we get to the 4th string, we nudge that add tune and go to the 8th fret root, and then back to the 8th fret. So just minor pentatonic. 5th, 4th, flat, root. So. And it's just those in between notes that are so important. So that's just between the 12th and the 10th fret. Just all that stuff can add so much taste to your playing. It's great.
See, these things are called frets, and those are very descriptive delineations of notes.
All right, so before we go into this next part, I want to go over the chord progression. So I'm going to do that with you, but it starts out as a standard blues, but then they add these chords which are actually strictly diatonic to the key of E. So blues is thought of as E dominant, so E mixolydian if you were thinking of like a scale or a mode that went with it, for the most part. But when we switch to this progression right here, it becomes just like strictly E major Ionian. So in terms of chords, that's what we're thinking. We're still mixing major and minor pentatonic, but it's cool how the chords switch it up and totally change the mood and vibe. So let's go over the...
He's got the slides, so he's going up and down. So he's got infinitely more sounds on his guitar than I have.
So starting with F sharp minor, A major, G sharp minor, C sharp minor, F sharp minor, and then walk down from B to A. Classic turnaround tenor. Alright, I'll go over John's part just because I like the way they interact. So it begins, I'm just going to go over the chords. I don't know the exact strumming or picking pattern he does, but he starts with F sharp, which is 2. G sharp minor, which is the 3 of E, then C sharp minor, which is the 6, and then back to F sharp minor, so we're doing a little 2-5 change right here, it's based off of that. F sharp minor, and then from B chromatically down to A. And that's when Derek does that little lick right there, and then John ends with this lick right here. So we're just doing a double stop of your B and D, so your 5th and flat 7th. For me, I'm doing it as a slide into the 3rd fret. And then I'm doing a backward slide from the 5th to the 4th, on the 3rd string, so that's frets 3, 1, and then 4th string 3rd fret, which is your flat 3rd, and then open 4th string, which is your root. And then afterwards, we're just doing a 9 chord, chromatically going from F sharp to E. And if you don't know how to do that in open E, how we do that is middle finger on the 7th fret of your 5th string, so that's your root, and then 6th fret of your 4th string, that's your 3rd, so we have F sharp and A sharp, and then we have E on your 3rd string, that's your flat 7th, and then we have G sharp right here, that's your 9th, and then your C sharp, which is your 5th on top, and we just go. Pretty classic. I'm pretty sure he stole that from Stevie. He probably stole it from somebody else, but I do that all the time. So let's move on, or move backwards, I should say, to Derek's solo.
Infinitely more sounds on his guitar than I have.
Slow that down again.
Infinitely more sounds on his guitar than I have.
Alright, so right there we're going. So right there we're starting at the 3rd string, 17th fret, and then 2nd string, same fret. So we're going 6th root, and then 19th fret, which is your major 2nd, and then from there we're doing a slow bend to the 22nd fret, which is our 4th, and you really want to milk that bend going into it. It doesn't have the same effect if you just went from F sharp to A real quick. You want to. It's really those in-between notes that makes Derek's phrases pop, and you can do the same thing by bending a note, but it's that much more noticeable doing F sharp. And once we get to the 4th, we go back to the 2nd. We just nudge it at tune between F sharp and G. Plucking the root, so in terms of plucks, we're doing pluck, pluck, pluck. And then once we've reached the 4th, we don't pluck once we get there. 2nd, and then 1st. And then the next part.
More sounds on his guitar than I have.
So right there, what we're doing is we're sliding into the 15th fret on your 2nd string. That's your flat 7th. You're doing a little shake between that and the 14th fret, which is your major 6th. So what he does is he'll pluck going into the flat 7. So then it goes down to the 6 and does a little shake. And then from there, we're doing the 10th fret on your 2nd string. So we're going down to your 5th, and then 10th fret, plucking that, and doing another low bend between the 10th and the 11th fret, or a slide, I should say. And just doing that. And then on the 3rd string, 12th fret, and then root on the 4th string, 12th fret. So that entire phrase is. Now, the next part. So that part right there is, it begins as kind of like him rephrasing that previous part. So we're going same thing. So then from there we're going 14th fret, 12th, 10th, and that's a quick move. So Derek does this thing all the time, where let's say this is your first note. We slide up to a note above that, back to the previous note, and then a note below that. And he'll do that like throughout the scale. So you can make your own little exercise on it, but like an idea you can use is just on the minor pentatonic. So get the idea. You can do that up and down the neck. But in this specific instance, we're going to the 10th fret, and then we're plucking, going to the 12th, 10th, 11th, and then plucking, going into the 10th, 8th, and 1st. So flat. The notes themselves are flat 7, 6, 5th, 4th, flat 3, root. And then after that, let's watch that. Then we're going back to flat 3rd, and then nudging out tune. And once we nudge a little bit, we go directly to the 5th, and then. So that's a tricky move, but we're nudging it, going to the 5th, back to the 4th, doing a little shake between your 4th and flat 5. Then 3rd. So we're going. So a lot of that stuff is just bending between notes that aren't readily available on the frets on the guitar. So, just on the 4th, we're just nudging it between the 4th and the sharp 4 or flat 5th, however you look at it. A lot of his stuff is just based on those sort of ideas. Alright, here's a great example of how you can directly mix major and minor. A lot of times when guitarists are playing, they'll play a major pentatonic lick followed by a minor pentatonic lick, but here's a great example of mixing both those intervals in one phrase. So we're going back to that same box we were at before on the 3rd string and 2nd string, going 17th fret, so 6, 1, and then moving to the 1st string, doing the frets 15, 17, 19, which is your intervals flat 3, 4, 5, and let me, one more time, just want to make sure. Okay, so right there we're going, so 6, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, 4, and then just another quick slide from the flat 3rd, 4th, flat 3rd, root again. And then after that, we're going back to the flat 3rd. And I don't think he's plucking and then sliding into it, but... Okay, I don't think he's sliding into that. Well, he might, hold on. Okay, so he's not plucking before it and sliding, but he's, once he gets to the root, he's sliding up to it and then plucks once he gets to the flat 3rd. So listen to the difference if I was plucking into it as opposed to sliding into it and then plucking. But if I was there and I was sliding, you're just sliding into it and you add the articulation once you get to that note. And once you get there, you pluck behind and you slide into the 4th. So the entire phrase is... Okay, so let's move on to the next part. Alright, so right there what we're doing is second string, 17th fret, so root twice. And then we're moving to the 1st string, going to the 21st fret, going back to the 19th fret, 21st and then sliding into the 21st again. So those are your intervals 6 and 5, or C sharp and B. So we're going. And after we slide into it twice, we go to the root, all one pluck. So let's try that again. And adding a lot of vibrato once we get to that high E. And just as reference, we're going above the 22nd fret right here, but if there were frets right here, it would be at the 24th fret. So almost kind of imagine that coming off the strings. But you're gonna have to use your ear once you get to that point, but it'll be good for you. From there we're going, yeah, so right there on the first string we're sliding into the 21st fret, which is your 6, and then 5th, or 19th fret, and then 17th, and then another chord, one of those slides right there, going to the root. And then sliding into your major 6 on the 2nd string from the 12th to the 14th fret. So that entire part is. And then one of the final licks anyways. Ah, so tasty. So right there, what we're doing is same spot as we were starting before, doing 6 to 1 on the 3rd string to 2nd string, and we're sliding into that 6 and then playing that root. So then from there, we're going from the sliding from the 2nd, plucking and going into the major 3rd at the 21st fret, which is your G sharp. And notice how he doesn't add any vibrato in the beginning. Or, I don't think at all. Let's check that. Okay, so no vibrato at all. So that's a good example of sometimes the best vibrato to use is none at all. So very tasty. So we're going. And that lick right there is once we slide into the G sharp, we let hang for a second. And then after a moment, we start sliding up, and we hit the our B note or a major 5th, and that's going to be at our imaginary 24th fret on the 2nd string. So, and once we reach the 5th, we do a backward slide to the 2nd, nudge it between the 19th and the 20th fret, so somewhere between F sharp and G. And then back to our root at the 17th fret. So that entire lick is. So very tasty. And then from there, we're just sliding. Well, let's listen to the next part. So after this. All right, so right there, just another Duane lick to end it. Sliding on the 2nd string to the 15th fret, which is your flat 7th D. We're going, and then going back down to the 12th fret without sliding, plucking the 12th fret, which is your B, doing a quick backward slide to the 10th fret, which is your 4th or A, and then sliding into the 12th fret on your 3rd string, your major 3rd, and then plucking your root at the 12th fret. So. And then after that, I turn around to end it. All right, right there, we're starting with a double stop on the first and second string, and we're doing that 4 times, so sliding into each one. And then the next note is doing the same thing, but just sliding into the 12th fret of the second string. And then from there, doing a pluck from the 12th to the 10th. And then sliding to the third, your third string, 12th fret. And then ending with the root, 12th fret, 4th string. So. And that is it. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you have enjoyed what you've seen on the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys more in the future.